Joyous rising, family. Great rising. Good morning. Happy Friday, or as we say over here, happy Friday. Yay! Good morning, family. I am so happy to see you. I hope you've had an amazing morning. We're excited today because at 11 o'clock, we're going to have a special guest. You all know Gold Star Mother Susan Price. She will be on at 11 o'clock with Dr. Kia Pruitt and a special guest, an entrepreneur who has done extremely well. His name is Michael Avignon. So check in, family. Let us know where you're calling or checking in from, where you're watching from. Let me show you this advertisement to let you see who we're going to have here for at 11 o'clock. Michael Avignon is an author of a book called The Global Financial Transition. So if you desire to hear about the RV, which is the revaluation of currencies, speaking of the Zimbabwean Zim, the dinar, which is the Iraqi currency, the Venezuelan bolivar, Afghanistan currency, and others like the Vietnamese dong, and how that came into fruition, that those of us who are invested in those currencies will become very wealthy, then you want to tune in today at Dr. Kia Pruitt Show on Rumble. Go to rumble.com and type in Dr. Kia Pruitt, or I'll be also streaming from Facebook, Twitter, Rumble, and YouTube. So I do have a new YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and type in Dr. Kia Pruitt. On today again at 11 o'clock, Michael Avignon will be here. He's our special guest who wrote a book about the global financial transition, how it transitioned from the deep state to a new gold-backed system. So he's going to talk to us about his book, and he's going to talk about the RV, the global currency reset, and many other things. Tune in today at 11. And you'll also be able to talk to Gold Star Mother Susan Price about, just briefly, about your humanitarian projects, how she has helped nearly 200 people complete their humanitarian projects for the RV. So good morning. It's so good to see our sister Belinda from Cleveland, Ohio, where I was born and raised. Good morning, everybody. Let me show you all what we here in Florida woke up to. Okay, the whole state had an emergency broadcast system alert. And I did talk about that, a report on that. But let me show you how some people felt about it. This was statewide. Statewide, we received an emergency broadcast system alert. And some people were not happy because we were awakened in the middle of the night. So let me see if you all can hear this. I'm going to push mute and listen to this right here. Let me know in the chat that you can hear it.
Can anybody tell me why they're running emergency tests over the night? Don't they know we all sleep around 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning? All night long in Miami. I don't know if everybody's phones, but my phone has been getting an emergency alert saying it was just a test. Look at it. Why would they do this all night long, guys? And it's nothing serious. Why over the night when we all sleeping? Why they're trying to terrify us like that? What are they getting ready us for, huh? We're gonna get blown the fuck up, guys.
Neighbors, family, and friends are trying to figure out what led up to a mother of 3 shot and.
So what we woke up to yesterday morning was an emergency broadcast system alert, and it went on. I received it at 4:45, as did most people, but in not Los Angeles, excuse me, but in Southern Florida, some people received the EBS alert, especially like in Miami, all through the night, an emergency broadcast system alert. Boop, you know how it beeps through the phone. So we didn't know what was going on, but they had to test the system. Not only did we receive that announcement at 4:45, but some people received it again at 6 o'clock in the morning. So nobody knew exactly what was going on. And I'll show you what that looked like. But we received calls from all the way from Northern Florida to Tampa, Central Florida, West Palm Beach, all the way down to Miami. People were calling me saying, yes, we did receive that EBS alert. So I'm going to show you what it looked like on our telephones. And not only did they receive the alert, but again, some people received it multiple times. So, and some people called me and said, well, we do have scheduled EBS alerts or announcements for several times I think a year, but we just thought it was peculiar that it happened early in the middle of the night for some people all through the night. This is what that emergency broadcast system announcement looked like here. It just simply said emergency alert extreme, April the 20th, 4:45 test. This is a test of the emergency alert system. No action is required. But what upset people is that not only did they receive it, but it was loud and it kept going on and on and on. This is a test, this is a test. And it awakened people out of their sleep. Now, that may not be so peculiar, but after that, many of us got an apology. So mainstream media thought it was important to issue an apology, and the apology seemed a little peculiar to me. And I'm going to read that apology to you at this moment. Officials apologize after emergency alert test system awakened many people. This was from WFTV. Officials apologize after emergency alert test sent in error to cell phones at 4:45 a.m. And I did make an announcement about this yesterday, but I just want to bring it back to your attention today because people are still talking about it. Because not only did we receive this emergency broadcast system announcement or this test, but I got information from West Virginia, and I think somebody from Tennessee also stated that they received it. People in the UK have said that they're going to have a statewide or a nationwide emergency broadcast system announcement test on the 23rd. Now, XRP Lion One has said that we should be looking out for something to happen this weekend. And he said this March, and he said it early April when he came back on the show. So something is going on. I'm not even sure how he knows the dates, but perhaps, God has revealed those to him, or perhaps he just has high level intel information and can't give us the source of the information. So this is what this official apology said. And I want you to take note of this. Emergency management officials said an emergency alert test issued at 4:45 a.m. on Thursday was sent out by mistake. The whole of the emergency management community apologizes for the error, and steps will be taken to prevent it from occurring again, officials said. According to a release, there will be large-scale exercise simulating major multi-patient medical emergencies on Thursday. That was yesterday. People in Florida may see increased ambulance traffic around the hospitals, but no part of this exercise will impact patient care, officials said. Now, we had an emergency broadcast system announcement or an alert, which a lot of us have been looking for years, because we know when the EBS does happen, it will happen nationwide and really around the whole world. And this emergency broadcast system announcement will keep people locked into the television screen, locked into the computers and cell phones, and we'll be able to see the news that will circumvent mainstream news or mainstream media. And this news will talk about how number 45 and the military, as well as other world leaders who are working for benevolent forces, are taking down those nefarious deep state forces known as the United States Incorporated, the Pseudo-Roman Empire, and many churches that were involved that enslaved the whole planet and committed crimes against humanity, and explicitly or specifically crimes against our children. So we've been waiting for an emergency broadcast system announcement. Why we got one in Florida, we don't know. However, I thought it was interesting that according to this release, large-scale exercise simulating major multi-patient medical emergencies would occur. What are they preparing for? What is this large-scale exercise? Why are they simulating major multi-patient medical emergencies? It makes me think that they're preparing for another shutdown. It makes me wonder if this has anything to do with another variant. Okay, I'm not comfortable with that. And why did they add it in this apology? So people in Florida may see increased ambulance traffic, really, around the hospitals, but no part of this exercise will impact patient care. So I spoke to a very good friend who's been working for the hospital for over a decade. And he told me, hi, Robert. It's good to see you. He told me, Kia, even if we were doing a high level training of some sort, he lives in another state, but he said we would never issue any type of announcement talking about a high level training at all at any hospital facility. He said that is suspect. Something is going on. Now, I don't know what's going on. Please tell me in the comment section what you think is going on. Why are they saying that there may be or will be large scale exercises simulating major multi-patient medical emergencies? Now, I will tell you that I spoke to a nurse who's close to me. And this, I didn't even tell her about what I saw, about this release and the apology. And she said, what were you talking about when you told me that you all got an EBS in Florida? I said, yeah. And you live in a state nearby. So I'm wondering if you guys got it. She said, well, they always have emergency broadcast system alerts, right? I said, yeah. She said, well, I'm just wondering if this could be related to this new variant that's coming out. She said, I kind of suspect, and this is somebody that's not even a conspiracy person. She said, I kind of suspect that there may be some kind of shutdown or some type of announcement about a new variant. And I don't know if that's related to the EBS or some of the things you've been saying, but we nurses know that they're preparing for something. She said, well, at least I know that all the nurses and the police officers will have a job, but something is going on. So people in Florida, again, may see increased ambulance traffic around the hospital. I'm not comfortable about that. I'm not comfortable with that. Please let me know what you think about it. Yeah, perhaps they are cleaning up the underground dumps still. And that makes a lot of sense. So let me know in the comment section what you all think about this. Now, all of this is coming on the heels of President Donald Trump making an urgent announcement. Now, a lot of people have been asking me, what's going on with Donald Trump versus DeSantis? Is DeSantis a good guy or not? DeSantis is the governor of Florida. All I can tell you is that DeSantis has created a lot of laws that have worked in our benefit. For example, he's created laws and executive orders to help fathers, and he's given lots of money, millions and multi-millions of dollars to help programs to develop fathers, help fathers get off drugs, help fathers to create, to learn new skills so they can work. Help fathers coming out of prison. And he has stated emphatically that it's important to reunite the family. And one of the best ways to do that is to empower men so that they can work, empower men so that they can even have skills to parent and to have marriages. Another thing that Governor DeSantis has done since he's been here is clean up Disney. So I'm wondering if this relates to Donald Trump making a release for Disney to get out of Florida. So here you go right here. Let me move this. We've had a lot of arrests on the grounds at Disney and in Florida as it relates to children being trafficked and harmed. So this was in 2022, but we've also had some arrests earlier this year. Disney employees and former judges were among 108 arrested in human trafficking sting in Florida. So Disney employees have been complicit in some of the crimes against children. A lot of you probably have heard about that. And living in Florida, we know about it. Those of us in the know that this has been a pervasive problem throughout the decades, which is why DeSantis and many of the sheriffs have issued warrants for the arrest of Disney employees. So authorities have arrested 108 people, including alleged child predators and those seeking prostitutes in a 6-day undercover human trafficking operation in Florida. And among those taken into custody were 4 Disney employees and a retired judge. The arrest of human traffickers and 4 child predators alone makes the whole operation worthwhile. This was in Polk County. This was Sheriff Grady Judd. Grady Judd does not play when it comes to crimes against children. He's made multiple arrests. Where there is prostitution, there is exploitation, disease, dysfunction, and broken families. Polk has also taken to the stadium to talk about how a lot of adults who are in porn flicks and even some of the children that were in child pornography, they are actually trafficked victims, human traffic, child traffic victims. And this is something that a lot of people will not talk about. They'll push pornography, but they won't tell you the root of it or where it comes from. Grand Rising. So DeSantis has been pretty active. So when you ask me, is he a good guy or a bad guy? I can only tell you about what I know that he's done that's very well. Now, I will tell you that a lot of times politicians will play good cop, bad cop. They will play this act and pretend like they're not friends in order to get things accomplished. But it very may be that you also have some of these people who are politicians that started good and turned bad. And maybe that's why President Trump calls him the sanctimonious. But I did a whole podcast on what the sanctimonious means. So you might want to look up the gematria on the sanctimonious. That's a whole nother podcast. So look at this. Governor Ron DeSantis signed legislation ending the corporate kingdoms of Walt Disney World. So Governor DeSantis has done a lot for the state of Florida. Governor DeSantis created an executive order. He signed an executive order that will stop Disney from being self-governing. They have their own laws here in Disney. They could do whatever they wanted to do because they were the almighty Disney. Everybody loves Disney. Everybody loves Mickey Mouse and all the characters, Donald Duck, and they love taking their children to the theme parks. But they did not know that there are underground tunnels underneath Disney. And they did not know that that was a cesspool for a lot of activity as it relates to children. Children would go missing. Children would be victims of mutilation, abuse, and sexual activity. So in Tallahassee, Governor Ron DeSantis, this was just released February 27th of this year, 2023. Governor Ron DeSantis signed a House Bill 9B, Reedy Creek Improvement District, Orange and Osceola counties to end self-governing status and special privileges provided to Disney World through the Reedy Creek Improvement District and establish a new state-controlled district accountable to the people of Florida. This is our state. The people of Florida, we are accountable for what happens to our children. We don't want these big entities such as Disney being able to govern themselves. The bill provides legislative intent on the district's authority to raise revenue and pay outstanding bonds and other obligations without interruption. So basically, the legislation ends Disney's self-governing status. It makes Disney live under the same laws as everybody else and ensures that Disney pays its debts and fair share of taxes. They weren't paying debts. They weren't paying taxes. And as a matter of fact, they bought up a lot of farmland. So I'm a woman of a certain age. I'm a little older than I look, my darlings. I would pass through Florida as a young woman going to meet family, friends, or church conventions. And we used to see a lot of farmland, a lot of orange trees. You all that live in Florida probably remember you can pick from the orange trees and glean from the orange trees. If the trees hung over the fence, you were allowed to glean from those trees. And there used to be trees all over the place in Florida, especially Central Florida, and a lot of farmland. But Disney bought up that farmland and they expanded their amusement parks and they created their own laws. They were able to do whatever, not pay taxes, so that they can do whatever they wanted to do with children. Not only run the business the way they wanted to do, but run a lot of trafficking out of there, a lot of nefarious activities under the grounds. And this is why Governor DeSantis signed that House bill. He did not want Disney to be able to continue to do what they were doing with our children. You all need to know this. So please, family, if you're watching me from Twitter or Facebook, please make sure you go to my new YouTube channel, like and subscribe to the channel. YouTube completely took down my old channel. and gave me several strikes. So that's okay. We're starting anew. Also go to my Rumble channel, like and subscribe, and share the videos. So the reason why I'm telling you about Disney is because people have been asking me what's going on between Donald Trump and Governor DeSantis, and is this DeSantis a good guy or a bad guy? I can only tell you about the good things that he's done. I never had the opportunity to meet him in person, although I was invited to attend his inauguration. Because of family obligations, I didn't make it, but I received a personal invitation from the office of Governor DeSantis to meet him and to go to the inauguration. Again, because of family obligations, I did not make it. So some people are saying, oh, that's not the real DeSantis, he's wearing a mask. Some people are saying it is the real DeSantis. I don't know, but he's done some very benevolent things for the state, again, like helping with fathers, issuing statements that he will not allow for Antifa, Black Lives Matter, and all of these other organizations to come in and tear up our state. He has allowed for people to have peaceful protests, but he will not tolerate any tearing up or dismantling of our communities. So we didn't see all of that mayhem that I witnessed when I lived in Kentucky and some of the other blue cities and states. So here we saw that yesterday, Trump ordered Disney to leave Florida as part of its campaign, they say, against Ron DeSantis. Why is this a campaign against Ron DeSantis? I'm going to tell you how mainstream media spins it, okay? Because I can only tell you what they say and they give my commentary. President Trump sided with Disney World in his conflict with Ron DeSantis. He warned that amid the fight, Walt Disney Company may leave Florida. Walt Disney is a significant supporter of the pro-Trump America First Action movement. Of course they are. They're going to give a lot of money. And if I was Trump, I would receive money from whomever too. And then if I had some bad information on you, I'd flip on you. You have to understand, this is the art of war. You make it seem like you're friends with the enemy. You keep your enemies close, right? That's what they say, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. So you make it seem like you're a part of them. You make it seem like you're part of the club. They're your friends. And then you flip the switch and you go after them. It's the art of war. I encourage you to read Sun Tzu's book, The Art of War, and also read the 48 Laws of Power. Donald Trump is brilliant. So they contributed to his campaign, and he said, this article says Disney has been pushed by Donald Trump to leave Florida, which would be financially disastrous for Ron DeSantis. The former president stated that his initial PR strategy collapsed and that the Magic Kingdom is destroying the Florida government, a prospective challenger for the presidency of 2024. So DeSantis and Trump both were running for presidency. I think it's a brilliant idea for two powerhouses, two Republicans that everybody love, to both run for the presidency and then pretend like they're enemies in order to get your main enemy, which are those that are committing crimes against humanity. So in a conflict over who has authority over the Reedy Creek Improvement District, he claims that the company may begin selling assets and transferring money out of the state. According to Open Secrets, Walt Disney Company gave a staggering $10.5 million to Trump's America First action during the 2020 election season. What do you all think about that? What do you all think about that? I can tell you what I think. Shabbat Shalom. I think that Disney needs to go anyway. Will it hurt DeSantis like mainstream media is saying? I don't know. We probably need the money in the state, but if the money is tied to human trafficking, drug trafficking, and harming children, we don't need your money. Buy Disney, good riddance. We already know that the cartoons are full of phalluses, and which is a penis, and some other sexual innuendos in Disney cartoons. We know that a lot of our actors and entertainers actually started out through Disney, such as Britney Spears, but she's only one of the major faces. They started off at Disney because Disney allegedly, and from our research, actually does MK Ultra training on these children. MK Ultra training, abuse, sexual abuse, drug abuse, and do all type of things to these children. The MK Ultra training that they do, according to my research that I did years ago, maybe over a decade ago, is that they molest them and they do things like They rape them and through the back door. And what that does is it fractionalizes their personalities and it creates multiple personalities so that they can deal with the trauma. So when that happens, you release psychic energy that's called loosh, and that loosh actually feeds the negative beings that control the world. So not only are they emitting loosh, but they create multiple personalities in order to deal with the high level of abuse that these children who are now adults receive as they go through the Disney MK Ultra programming. When you have multiple personalities, then presidents and other high level officials can give those children secrets and messages, and they will send those children, like Rihanna and other children, I'm just names that you would know, all those child actors, they would send them. And I'm thinking of what's the Ty Bridges and the other short little guy that did those shows. They were also victims of MK Ultra. So they would again rape them and do things through the back door. The children will have multiple personalities, give them a program or a message, then send them across the seas to different governors, different high level officials, where they will also be raped again or abused by those officials. They would give them the messages and then come back and not even remember it. Because again, when you do these rituals on these children, these MK Ultra programming, the same rituals that they do with these people who are doing these mass shootings, you can say a word or do something to trigger to trigger one of those personalities, a sound, a music, a tune, a snap, a secret word that's only known between the MK Ultra programmer and that child, and you can just release a whole nother personality. And you saw this actually happening on screen when they would have, I think it was Britney Spears and the Barbara Walters or somebody was interviewing her, and then she said a word that had nothing to do with the interview, and then Britney started barking. These children have been extremely, extremely abused through MK Ultra and through programs that came out of Disney. This is why Disney must go. So when Donald Trump says Disney must leave, the message that you are getting on mainstream media that I'm getting is because he's trying to hurt DeSantis. That's not what's really going on behind the scenes. Disney must leave because Disney is a filthy, horrendous, horrible entity that pretends to be a place for children and families to enjoy themselves. But no, they're hurting our children, and they've been doing this programming for decades. So Hollywood is tied to the nefarious activity. Athletics is tied to this nefarious activity. Mainstream media, governors, presidents, governing entities, the certain churches, doctors, lawyers, people from all segments of society. And this is what you're going to hear when you receive an emergency broadcast system announcement. Right now, we're receiving an alert. We're receiving an alarm. They're testing the system. Why else would they be testing the system to make sure it works? Unless they're going to make a huge announcement. And when they make this huge announcement, we'll be inside already. So something's going to happen. I don't know if we're going to have a pandemic, if they're going to talk about some type of variant of the, the sickness that was causing people to be sick so that they can shut down the whole world. But I'm telling you right now, get food, get water, to get supplies. Do not be caught off guard. Get money out of the bank because your ATM card will not work. This is why the banking crisis is happening simultaneously. So you will be taken off guard. You don't know where all this is coming from. But people like me, people like Mark Z, people like Mel Karma, I'm speaking of my friends, people like the quantum, what is the quantum? My friends in Europe, I cannot think of your show, but if you're here, please put your name. Just people Charlie Ward, I don't know, some of these people are telling me they may be good, they may not be good. I'm telling you, podcasters are warning you right now, get food, get water, get supplies, and get silver if you can, because if the whole banking system collapses and your ATM card will freeze, then you'll be able to trade or barter with one another, because all merchants recognize constitutional silver or 1965 minted coins as money. So you can use that as a means of trade. Pre-constitutional coins minted before 1965, also known as junk silver. Go to your local coin dealer and get it. Florida, someone said Florida was always a great state to live in, and it's not at all. This is not all of DeSantis doing. That DeSantis is cashing in on prior leadership, not all of his doing. Oh, I think what Joe Lewis saying is that DeSantis is getting a lot of praise for a lot of benevolent things that are going on in Florida, but he wasn't the only one to do good things to clean up the dumps and to clean up the government. So we're also hearing that, as I said, the UK nationwide will receive an emergency broadcast system alert on the 23rd. I did read articles about that, but I have friends who have contacted me that live over there that said that they will receive an EBS. Excuse me. Hi, Malaysia. What else is going on in the news? On the heels of this emergency broadcast system announcement, we're not the only ones that's being told to be on alert. Let me hurry up because a lot of you have to go see Mark Z, and I want you all to be able to go. You can always come back and watch me. The United States Embassy urges citizens in South Africa to stock up on food and travel safely. So South Africa, ever since February of 28th, and even now, I've heard somebody just sent me an alert today saying that they're still being told to stock up on food and supplies. Something is going on worldwide. Johannesburg, the United States Embassy has once again warned its citizens residing in South Africa to stock up on food supplies due to the country's persistent power crisis. So this latest security alert, that was before I just got a security alert today, by the American Embassy, was issued by the United States government on February 15th, 6 days after President Cyril Ramaphosa declared a national state of disaster on energy and 9 days before the country was gray listed. There's a lot going on worldwide that people aren't talking about, friends and family members. So I'm just making you aware that something is going on behind the scenes that you may not know. And the mainstream media will spin it in a way that either will cause fear or in a way that they think is palatable for people to receive it. So again, when Donald Trump, which he just issued an announcement, alerted and declared that Disney must leave Florida, it took some people off guard. And somebody asked me, what gives him the right? Who does he think he is? President Donald Trump is still the president of the republic. He's still the president of this country. He is the commander in chief. So he can give a decree. He can give a demand. He can give a command as commander in chief. So he can spin it as if he's trying to hurt DeSantis. They're playing good cop, bad cop. But they have to go. Disney has to go because Disney, again, has been doing nefarious activities. What's going on in Sudan? What's going on in this country in Africa? A lot's going on in Africa. Africa is on alert. U.S. troops are positioning themselves allegedly in Sudan. U.S. positioning troops ahead of possible Sudan embassy evacuation. I don't know what's going on in Sudan. I'm just now learning that something's happening there. The security situation has spiraled downward in the country's capital. You guys, please let me know in the comment section what is going on in Sudan. I did hear that people have been plundering gold from Sudan because you all might remember that a couple of months ago, Sudan actually made an announcement that they found a whole lot of gold. And in fact, I believe they said a significant amount of gold that puts them at the top of the list of gold holders in the region. Smoke rises over the horizon, as a fire burns after a strike in Sudan Sunday, April the 16th, just 5 days ago. The Pentagon is positioning United States forces in Djibouti in anticipation of a potential mission to evacuate the United States Embassy personnel And Khartoum, two people familiar with the military plans has said the security situation in Sudan's capital has cradled over a week of fighting as two rival generals in charge of the nation's armed forces who led the Rapid Support Forces military group battle for control of the country. So I'm wondering if this is a deep state operation, a good versus bad operation going on, deep state against the White House of the military going over there. I'm not quite sure, but I know that they're evacuating the embassy, United States embassy over there. So let me know in the comment section what you have heard. So the heavy fighting in this region has left many stranded in the city of 5 million people, including embassy staff who are sheltering in place at the compound 8 miles from the international airport. So again, a lot is going on in the world, family. I would encourage you to get food, water, supplies, a way to protect your family. If you can, some type of silver. Yeah, some type of silver or gold. Roll over your assets into gold. Protect yourselves. This isn't about me selling silver or gold. You all know I'm an affiliate with Miles Franklin. If you are inclined, contact Miles Franklin, info@milesfranklin.com. Ask for a list of inventory because things are running out. Dealers are running out. Wholesalers are running out of supplies. Ask for a list of inventories. Let them know that Dr. Kia Pruitt referred you so you can get the best prices in the industry. Let me tell you, even at my local coin shop, they're running out of supplies, but at the same time, they just had a large estate sale. So with large estate sales, people are just giving up their silver and gold because they don't yet understand or overstand the value. However, when I was there the other day, this gentleman met me at the door and he said, let me tell you something. If you don't know about silver and gold, he said, it's running out. I don't even know this guy. I've never seen him before. It's running out of supply. He said, somebody's going to come to these local dealers and say, I'm going to buy up all your silver. So get as much as you can, he told me. And so I came to find out that this guy has been collecting for decades. Family members, please get silver and gold if you can, and at least get you some constitutional silver because again, all merchants recognize constitutional silver or junk silver as money. Now, I did talk to my local dealer. Let me see. I'm going to turn off my camera here just for a minute because I want to see if I can find, I don't even know how to do this. I'm going to find this statement. I'm going to find the price of constitutional silver. My local dealer did tell me what constitutional silver was going for. So if I were you, I would go to my local dealer, Google coin companies or coin shops or coin dealer near me, or Google numismatics near me and find out who deals in coins near you. At my local shop, the constitutional dimes are about $2.50 each. So when people tell me I don't have any money, I can't invest in silver and gold, listen, the dimes, constitutional dimes, which are 90% silver, all of these real silver, dimes, quarters, and half dollars, real silver, 90% silver, was used as money at one time, minted before 1965. The dimes at my local shop, you need to ask your person. All coin dealers have a formula, but I didn't understand the formula. I do now. But she said basically what I'm telling you is that the dimes are going for $2.50, the quarters are going for $6.25, and the half dollars are going for about $12.50. I wanted to give you that information. This is my local shop, but you'll probably get it cheaper from your local shop. Ask around. Also, contact Miles Franklin, info@milesfranklin.com, because we have constitutional silver as well. And you want that in your possession because, again, if they close down the banks, which they will, or likely will, during this crisis, this time of crisis, you want to be able to trade and barter. So what we're being told is that you're going to have emergency broadcast system alerts. Everybody's going to be in their house for a time between 3 and 10 days. So I would say get a week to 2 week supply of food. And if you have money, get a month supply, but get a week to 10 days supply of food. These emergency broadcast system alerts will go off. I don't know if they're going to stage a black swan event or some major event or scare event, something that'll happen, whether it be a pandemic or tell you about some variant that's going on of the virus. Then whatever happens, people are going to panic. So you be aware and be prepared. Also, at the same time, you know, all these countries have dropped the United States dollar through Project Sandman, which was an agreement between 209 countries that behind the scenes, that when triggered, they would drop the United States dollar and go to gold. This has occurred. The trigger was Putin. So again, when Putin went over to the Ukraine, he didn't go over there just to start battle. The Ukraine was a part of his dynasty, was a part of Russia at one time. So he went over there actually to clean out the dumbs. He went over there actually to clean out the deep underground military bases and to stop the nefarious activities that were going on. Oh, that brings me to, I wanted to report what was going on with the number 46's family. Yeah, there's a lot of breaking news coming out about them about to arrest 46 and his family. When I find that the oversight committee, the House Oversight Committee, you probably can go to houseoversight.gov or something like that. They've been conducting an investigation against 46 and his family for a while. And some of the activity actually occurred in Ukraine. So when Putin went over there to clean it out, 46 got mad, of course, because he and his family has a lot of dealings over there. So he put sanctions on Putin. And Putin's response was to drop the United States dollar and to lead the BRICS Union, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. To drop the United States dollar and go to gold for trade. That's why the whole world is rushing to gold, the use of gold as money. Who's that? Okay. So when that happened, all other countries then left the United States dollar. So the United States no longer has economic and financial hegemony. We're not the powerhouse anymore. We still have a great military, but the military is now fighting for we, the American people, and for the world to release us from those nefarious beings. The United States Incorporated has lost its power. It's lost the war. The United States Incorporated are those entities that usurped authority from our republic. The United States Incorporated had a symbol, which was the eagle. The United States Incorporated is the pseudo-Roman Empire. The symbol of the Roman Empire is the eagle, the mightiest, strongest predator, one of them, and wildlife. But when the Eagles lost the Super Bowl, that was a symbol that the United States Incorporated and the Roman Empire has collapsed. So again, Putin was the trigger to make all those countries leave the United States dollar immediately, simultaneously. And that's why inflation is high and places keep going up, rents keep going up, gas keep going, everything, because all those dollars came flooding back into America. Remember, all these world leaders took to the stage and told their people, stop trading with the dollar, don't use the dollar, give up the dollar, stop using the dollar, period, and trust in your own currency. Why did they say trust in your own currency in Zimbabwe, in Sudan, in Ghana, in Iraq, and all over the world? Trust in your own currency, because they've had all their gold repatriated back to them from the Vatican. They've had all their artifacts brought back to them. And now there is no Roman Empire to control their resources. So all of those currencies are backed now by the resources in their country. Nobody's there to harass them anymore. So Putin is working with Xi Jinping in China, the People's Republic of China, not to be confused with the Chinese Communist Party. They're all working together, China, Russia, and number 45, or now known as Trump, being the 19th president of the Republic. So I don't want to keep you much longer, family. According to that agreement, when it triggered, they dropped the United States dollar and rushed to gold for trade again. So now I'm telling you, those currencies are now over the world are backed by gold, which means they have revalued. Revalued or revaluation or RV just means that the currencies have been restated to their original value based on the resources, the gold, the silver, palladium, platinum that each country has. So when the dollar was dropped simultaneously, the dollar from all those countries, remember that was an agreement through Project Sandman, some people call it Operation Sandman, then the dollar would plunge to zero, and all dollar denominated assets will plunge to zero overnight. This is why Andy Schectman, the CEO of Miles Franklin, has stated emphatically, you'll go to sleep on a Sunday night and wake up Monday morning to a whole new world, because the dollar will completely decimate and be brought to zero value. Now, right before the pandemic and immediately after, the dollar had already lost 98% of its purchasing power. Now that all over the world, all exporting nations, you can take me at my word, people won't report this, every single nation has dropped the United States dollar for trade. Now, I had said earlier, every single nation except for Mexico, parts of Canada, and America are trading with the dollar. They're now using gold or their own currencies backed by gold. But I just received word last week that they were in Mexico. Mexico won't even take the United States dollar in certain places. So when the dollar plunges to completely zero and all dollar denominated assets plunge to zero, as David Schectman, Andy's father, the co-founder of Miles Franklin, has stated emphatically, everything will freeze. You won't be able to use. He said, get out of the dollar. Everything will freeze. So all of this is coming on the heels of banks collapsing, bank stocks tanking. This is a controlled demolition. So although the nefarious deep state actors, the people in power that were in power, the black hats, however you want to call them, the cabal, the Khazarian mafia, they were going to create a demolition so that they can make us go to a new world order times 100, new world order 0.2, with a digital asset, a digital coin that we will all use. And they intended for us to put some type of chip in our body so we can have the mark of the beast and we could scan ourselves to purchase. This was what they planned. So they intended to demolish all of this to force us to do what they wanted us to do, right? Because you create a problem and then you get a reaction and then a solution, and the people will run to the government for a solution. But the white hats, but God, but the benevolent factors that are in control are allowing for this demolition to happen. And behind the scenes, it's all a cover. Just like the coronavirus, it was a cover. That's why they called it initially corona. Corona means crown, as in gold, as in crown chakra, as in ascending in consciousness, as we're moving to the gold standard and the use of gold to not only pay off the debt, but to raise our consciousness, because precious metals is not just precious because it's money. Precious metals is precious because it raises your vibrations. It heals you. It cures you. It cleanses your pineal gland. It raises your frequency. We have gone into the golden era. So God, who is in control, the benevolent forces that are in control, whether you call it the angels, the Galactic Federation of Light, they're all using this bad experience to turn it out for your good. So God has called for prophets and prophetesses like Dr. Kia Pruitt, like Mark Z, like Andy Schectman of Miles Franklin, like all these other podcasters, like Gold Star Mother Susan Price, like Michael Avignon, like Prime Minister, to come and tell you that all the things that the devil planned for your harm, God is turning it around for your good. But you have to listen. Ask God to break up the fallow ground of your heart. Ask God to break up that anger and that hurt and that pain and that wickedness or whatever, the vindictiveness or the struggle, the hardship that you've gone through, the emotional turmoil that you've experienced. Break it up in me, God, so that I can have the type of heart that will receive the news that you're working for my good. Believe it, know it to be true. Do what you can. Stop telling me you can't. Stop saying this is too hard. Stop asking me when this is going to be over. It's over now. If you say it's now, declare it to be so. Take control of your life. Command victory. Command healing. Command power. Command strength. Command purity. Command righteousness. Command it. Command wealth. Use the power and the authority that God has given you, because God has given you dominion over this realm. And listen to the prophets that say, prepare. Be like the wise virgins and not like the foolish virgins. Remember, in the Bible, there was a great feast that was being prepared, and there was a call out to all the people. Get ready. There's going to be a great big celebration. There were 5 young virgins who were foolish and 5 that were wise. The ones that were foolish were partying, having a good time. Oh, I got plenty of time for the feast. Oh, I'm going to lay around and have as much sex as I can. Well, no, they couldn't have sex. They were virgin. I'm going to have friends and hang out with my people. I'm just going to have a good time. I got plenty of time. But then you had the wise virgins who kept their lights trimmed and burning. They were on watch. They were ready. They got beautified. They got their clothes together. They went purchasing all the things they need. And then when the bridegroom came and it was time to have a great celebration, he came and made the announcement. The wise virgins and all the people who were prepared, they came into the feast. They were ready. And then the door was shut. And the virgins, the foolish virgins, ran up to the door, but the door was already shut and they couldn't enter the feast. Why? Because they were foolish. Why? Because just like the global pandemic, when we were telling you to prepare, the foolish did not listen. And when they ran to the grocery stores, they were empty. They were foolish. They did not prepare. They were foolish. So when the National Guard was on the grounds and telling everybody, get in the house, these people said, I can do whatever I want to do. I don't have to listen to rules. I don't like order. And they went outside anyway, and they got shot up with pellets because the wise will receive instruction. The foolish will not. Be wise. Be prepared. The whole system is collapsing, but God is turning it out for your good. And then we're going to enter a beautiful celebration, as Prime Minister says, 1,000 years of peace. So those of you who know that to be sure and to be true, prepare. And it amazes me how my Christian friends continue to badger me and say, how do you know this is true? Oh, yeah, you're lying. There's not going to be 1,000 years of peace. Your Bible says it's going to be 1,000 years of peace. Your Bible said that Satan was going to be bound for 1,000 years. It's prophecy. It's prophecy. Kim Kamlet even talked about it. Be prepared. It's going to turn out for your good. Why get food, water, and supplies now? Because people are going to take to the streets. Banks are closing. Remember, when everybody dropped the dollar will drop in value and all dollar-denominated assets will plunge to zero. Then Jim Rickards, who is an economist, a financier, he knows about money, a banker, he said, then what will happen is everything will freeze when a dollar and all dollar-denominated assets plunge to zero. Everything will completely freeze. He called it an ice nine scenario. You go to the ATM will not work. The machine, your card may not work. Your EBT card may not work. You might not be able to get any money out the bank. So go and get cash now. Make sure you have cash. Make sure you have coins. And if you can, get silver or roll over your assets into gold or get silver, but get constitutional silver, some form of silver. Make sure you have even the smaller denominations in case you have to trade. So God is turning this thing around, but sometimes things get worse before they get better. Behind the scenes, we're seeing high level arrests. When the emergency broadcast system announcement comes, you're going to see some arrests on the television screen. So we are flipping the script. Things will work out for our good. Mark Z, yes, he's not on YouTube right now, not his original Mark Z channel. I don't think I heard that they took him off, but he is streaming from Trolling News Network. That's his backup channel. Corona, the real landing on Trump's birthday was in Roswell. It was Corona, New Mexico. Thank you for stating that. So I'm finished, preaching and just trying to inspire you to be ready. And now we're going to shift the atmosphere to answer questions and read some of your comments. But please prepare, family. The Mayan temple site Q in La Corona, Apollo, and Princess Corona. Thank you for that. Corona solar flares that are updating our DNA. Thank you, Omega. So, family, in my conclusion, be prepared, get ready, know that things are working for your good, but you have to be ready. You don't want to be caught off guard. You want to be ready. Make sure you got everything charged up. Get your family under your shelter if you can, so that you can know that they're okay. Gold Star Mother Susan Price has said, keep your gas tank full, have food, water, batteries, flashlights, a generator if you can, silver on hand, coins, and loose dollars. If you don't have any of that, then you really need to get your family and friends together so that you can share and work together and help each other during this time. So again, you want to have between, I think they're saying 3 to 10 days or at maybe 2 weeks worth of supplies and food in your home. Back in the USSR, Ukraine was considered by international community as part of Russia since 1949. You're welcome. That's right. The Ukraine was a part of Russia. So Vladimir Putin has a right to go over there and clean it out. I know, Doubting Thomas says it gets so hard to deal with them. Oh, you went to a shop and got dimes. They were $2 back then. Oh, wow. Yeah, prices have gone up. Prices have gone up. And people are talking about how the prices are going up not only on bullion, gold, and silver, which are your coins and your bars, but it's gone up on constitutional silver or junk silver, the coins, the dimes, and the quarters and $50. Not only have the prices have gone up, but also the premium above the stock prices. Yes, the EBS is coming. Some people are saying EBS incoming in Brazil. Wow, thank you for that, Omega. EBS, I had just put a reply to a highlighted comment on Jimmy Dore about the leaker that the EBS was incoming in Taxiera, Brazil. Galician Portuguese name. Oh, okay. ATV, amateur TV. Ham radio. So you're saying that you put a reply that there was a leak that an EBS is coming into Brazil. My daughter-in-law is in Brazil. Thank you for that. My grandchildren. So let me see. Dinar, yes, dinar, Vietnamese dong, Iraqi dinar, Venezuelan bolivar, Zimbabwean yen, and Afghanistan currencies are the top 5 that I know about. You're going to hear Marco Avignon talk about that today, which currencies are doing well. And the reason why those currencies are doing well, because those nations are some of the richest nations in the world. Please, when can I find the Russian rep rally with the 35,000 rescued children? Raymond, I don't know if anybody can answer that question. Please help Raymond with that question, please. You're welcome. Jesus was galactic with red hair, green eyes, and AB copper. Wow. Magdalene RH negative blood. I didn't know that. He was not Galilean or Nazareth or Bethlehem. Really? It was Galatia, Spain, Nazaré, Portugal, and Bethlehem, Majorca. Wow. So it was not Galilee, it was actually Galatia, Spain. And it wasn't Nazareth, it was actually Nazaré, Portugal. And it was not Bethlehem, but it was actually Bethlehem, Majorca. I never knew that. Thank you, Omega Perfect Storm. Thank you, Omega Perfect Storm. I never heard that. We appreciate that information. So, family, I'm off my rant. I just want you to be prepared. I am very passionate about what I do. I was created for this. I've always known I was going to be a journalist. Okay, but I got married early, had children, and my life took another beautiful path. But now I'm back to doing what I want to do, as well as do those things that, be a mom and do some of the things that I found myself doing, which was helping students. But this is also what I knew I was going to do from the time I was a child. The Pentagon leaker's name is Taxiera. That's his last name. It's a com from the White Hats. Thank you. Thank you. So if you are inclined to get precious metals from my affiliate, then go to, I see you, Patrick. I'm going to see what you're saying. info@milesfranklin.com. That's info at milesfranklin.com. Let them know that Dr. Kia Pruitt referred you. Mark Z, so you believe they kicked him off like they did me? I don't know if it's the White Hats doing that, because maybe they don't want us giving certain information. I don't know. Or if it's the Black Hats, because they're like, you all are preparing people and we don't want y'all to do that. Good morning to you too, Patrick. So Dave on X22 has an interview out this morning with Big Swear. Big Swear, you guys have to follow Big Swear on his channel, Road to Ruta, ROADTOROOTA.com. That's his website, or go to Road to Ruta on Twitter, or go to Road to Ruta on his YouTube channel, because he talks about silver. He talks about the demolition of the financial system as we know it. And he talks about the good people, or the white hats that are behind the scenes, that are actually orchestrating, or they are the stewards of this demolition. So although the black hats, or the bad people in power, started the demolition, the white hats have used the demolition of this power structure to go to something great, to go back to the gold standard. Big Swear has been talking about this actually for many, many years. He is on an interview with X22, is what Patrick is saying, and here is the link to that. Thank you, Patrick. I'm going to get a few more comments before we go. The Pentagon, okay, yes, we know who the leaker is. Should I buy silver or more currency? I'm in a pickle about all of this. Well, use your discernment. I know you didn't want to hear that, Sister April. I would say use your own discernment. Silver and gold are wealth. So that's something that you'll be able to pass down to your posterity. So a lot of people, if you have a savings, or if you have an IRA, they're rolling it over to gold and silver, because as Andy Schechtman says, this is something you hope you will never have to use. You want to pass it down to your posterity. The scripture says that a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. And the latter part of that scripture says, and the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the righteous. So you want to make sure that you have silver and gold that you can pass down to your posterity. In the meantime, you also want to have some silver in order to do some exchanging or some bartering with. That's why I say constitutional silver, or lower denominations of silver, like your coins, your 1 ounce, half ounce, quarter ounce, so that you can trade or barter with. Do you need more currencies? I will ask myself, because currencies, a lot of people that's also for wealth and for humanitarian purposes. I would ask myself, what type of humanitarian projects do I want to do? Do the currencies that I have support the humanitarian projects that I want to do? Is it enough? And then go from there, because I can't really tell you what your family needs. Look at your overall goal for your family, and your overall goal for humanity, what you intend to do for humanity. But whatever you do, diversify your portfolio, because who knows when the currencies will revalue? Who knows which currency will revalue first, or if they'll revalue at the same time? Use your own discernment, pray about it, think about your overall goal, and then make a decision. But also come back at 11 o'clock. I'm going to give you all a break, okay? And come back at 11 o'clock, because Michael Avignon, who is an entrepreneur, very successful entrepreneur, who have had like multi-billion-dollar projects to do very well all across the globe, is coming to talk about these currencies, what they mean, what they represent, and how we can utilize them. So I think he will be a good person, and Gold Star Mother Susan Price will be back on too. So when the SARA comes into play, and the global currency reset and the revaluation of currencies, we will have free energy, as well as Omega Perfect Storm is saying, will we use Tesla products. So Tesla coils will use copper. So I think this is a Tesla coins will use copper. So silver, gold, palladium, platinum, those are precious metals, but so is copper. Thank you for that. Thank you so much. Somebody saying, I don't have family, no kids, but I understand. Right, but you might want to pass it down to your godchildren or to your community. You want to first start at home, help yourself and your children or your family, and then work out to your community, and then abroad, spread it abroad. So again, family, on today, let's see what time that is. Let me show you my final statement, my final announcement. On today, in 30 minutes, less than 30 minutes, we're going to have Michael Avignon to talk about his book, The Global Financial Transition. It will be your host, Dr. Kia Pruitt, this fine gentleman right here, an entrepreneur, and whose dad was a financier who's invested in currencies, dinar and the Zim and all those things. He's going to talk about his history, how he came into those things, what's going to happen. He's going to talk about the demolition of the old system to the new system and many other things. And Gold Star Mother Susan Price, who is a mother of a fallen soldier by the name of Aaron Michael Kennefick. See all these names, Michael, just like the Archangel. Her son was a Marine gunnery sergeant who was killed in the line of duty while on a secret mission. He was on a mission within a mission. He refused to do some nefarious activities. He worked for the White Hats to restore our freedom, and the military-industrial complex took his life. So Gold Star Mother Susan Price has taken to social media as a speaker, as a writer, and as a whistleblower for what's going on in the military industrial complex, as well as some other corporations that have stolen our freedoms from us. She's written explicitly, like she's written a whole lot on what's happening in the deep underground military bases, what's going on in the military, what's happening to our children, what's happening with our food. So you want to make sure you meet us today at 11 here on my YouTube channel or on Rumble. I'm streaming on Rumble as well, and Twitter. Let me show you finally what my Rumble channel looks like, so you all can please, let's see, please go to my Rumble channel, like and subscribe to the channel, share the videos. I'm going to put that in the description section right here, because YouTube might be gone. Who knows? I don't know if the billionaire Elon Musk is going to take over YouTube or if they're going to completely do away with YouTube. But let me show you what my Rumble channel looks like. You could just go to rumble.com and type in Dr. Kia Pruitt. Oops. Hold on. And you'll see this is what my Rumble channel looks like. So please, family, go to my Rumble channel. Here it is, rumble.com/C/Dr. Kia Pruitt. You could just do rumble.com and in the channel section, do Dr. Kia Pruitt. That's me. And here are my videos. So if you can see here, I put all of my YouTube videos that weren't taken down by YouTube onto my Rumble channel. And then I'm going to show you what my YouTube channel. You could just go to youtube.com. I have a new YouTube channel and see. Let me see if I can pull it up here, what my new channel looks like. It's just Dr. Kia Pruitt. And then I have to get off here, family, so I can be ready for the 11 o'clock podcast where we'll talk to Michael Avignon and Gold Star Mother Susan Price. Thank you for staying here with me. Make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. I'll be streaming from both of these from now on. And it just says Dr. Kia Pruitt. Here's my channel. Here's the same picture on Rumble. Like, subscribe, share the video, let all your friends know that we give the real news over here. So family, again, prepare, get your water, get your food, your supplies, bring your family members close to you. It's not a good idea to travel now. We never know. They might shut down traveling again so that people can be in their homes, hear the emergency broadcast system announcement where they will tell you about the war against the cabal, the Khazarian mafia, the deep state, and they will show some high-level arrests, and they will take down number 46, who has been investigated right now, and they will reinstate Donald Trump as the lawful president because he is the 19th president of the Republic. And they might even unveil that John F. Kennedy Jr. is also a white hat behind the scene. He's still alive, as well as a lot of your entertainers who faked their deaths to work behind the scenes to take down the deep state. So my name is Dr. Kia Pruitt. I hope I said something to raise your vibrations and to inspire you to create the most amazing, magnificent, wonderful, glorious life that you desire and deserve. Come back at 11. We're going to have Michael Avignon here to give some good news about the currencies, the revaluation, the global currency reset, how we're all going to become wealthy, and how to take down the deep state from within and create a new, amazing financial system with your new wealth. I love you. Peace. Make this a great day, family. See you at 11. Go get some water, pencil, and pad, and come back. I love you. Bye-bye. Peace.